Underneath that, the two, the lovers, actually, not the two of anything. The lovers. What's underneath here? Ten of Cups. Lovely. But the Three of Swords is your underlying energy. There's a definite soulmate connection between you and this individual, and that's what's kind of pronounced about this reading. But the Three of Swords is the main card of the show tonight. So, it's really talking about some old issues, some old pains, some things that both parties may not have truly gotten over 100%. You know, these are swords that have been there for some time, and they kind of definitely pronounce themselves that they're still around when there's triggers, right? So triggers are a big thing. But flirt, it talks about getting to know each other, or having a little bit more fun and sparking something new. It's communication, and it's something, you know, that's, you know, it's a little bit more, you know, frivolous rather than something so serious. It's just nice. It's good sometimes to kind of have a little bit more fun when you've been focusing so much on other things, like, you know, progress or building something or working so much. Now, with your side here, or the other person's side, or depending on however you read this, the mentality in which this person is going into this reading is the Two of Pentacles. So, Two of Pentacles to me is the distraction card, because this person is trying to juggle things of practicality while ignoring their emotions. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that they, you know, usually this is kind of a choice, because obviously the emotions may be hard to look at, or you know, obviously you see the tides are very, very strong. So how they feel may be very, very strong, and it can be very difficult. Now, if this is the underlying energy, which is the Three of Swords, and it's understandable why there would be kind of some sort of distraction tactics, why there'd be a lot of focus and emphasis on doing other things, taking care of other responsibilities, you know, juggling things or keeping the balance of stuff. Because this is talking about, you know, they're dealing with some old issues that's hard to deal with. However, it does keep things from moving forward when there's just keeping the balance, when there's just kind of waiting. And sometimes the Two of Pentacles can call for that, right? You know, sometimes there's nothing you can do but keep the balance. But the situation is that there's something that's affecting your emotions, and and right now there's a lot of focus on practical stuff. You're trying to make a practical decision where your emotions would make more of a segue, if that makes sense. They would make more, make the decision easier for you if you looked at it. But the thing is that the Three of Swords is what's kind of, keeping you from making a decision based off of value from your emotions, because of some pains that are still there. It's similar to this individual here. But the Five of Pentacles, for them, they're coming from a place of feeling like there's lack. There's nothing that's quite to par with them. That there's something that's always missing, or something that's always lacking, whether that's support from somebody, whether that's stability from someone, or stability in the relationship. But they're coming from a place of struggle. Like, they're always constantly struggling, always trying to get to a certain place where there is some sort of, solid ground. But they're always struggling. Now, this doesn't mean that they're not, incapable, they're not, moving forward or trying to build something. But this person here with this Five of Pentacles, it's coming from a place, or coming in this relationship with this view of something not being quite right, something not being quite up to par. And it could be, like I said, this could be that there's a lot going on, or maybe there's just a feeling of being left out in the cold. Somebody's like going into this feeling like they're not connecting with the partner. There's something that's keeping them from being able to truly connect with one another. Of course, both parties are here struggling together, and it could be that both of you guys are both struggling. Even though they are aware of that, this person is still feeling left out in the cold within this relationship, almost like they're not necessarily getting the help that they want. But again, they could be asking, the help is around them, but they just don't feel like it would be heard in a way. That's what I'm kind of getting. And usually I don't read the Five of Pentacles like that. I don't read the Five of Pentacles like that, but I'm getting the sense that it may have to do with that. For some of you guys, very little. Now, a lot of you guys may resonate with that. But the default to kind of fall back on is that this person is seeing this relationship as something that is, not quite up to par. There's something less lacking here. Okay. Now, how they're displaying themselves is interesting. You know, they have this very mature, you know, attitude about work, about responsibilities, about their life, wanting to be providers and supporters of the people that they love, as well as being independent. And they also act like as if they don't need anybody. That, you know, they present themselves as someone that is very good at keeping things afloat on their own without any sort of extra help. But the thing is that they, like I said before, they could ask for help and they know they're struggling, but they want people to kind of step in a way and do it for them, but they don't want them to do it at all. At the same time, it's really weird. Like, they don't want that person to step in and take control of things or take things in their own hands and do them, because they feel like they do them best in a way. But at the same time, they're just more comfortable with doing it themselves in an interesting way. Now, at the same time, like I said, this person comes off as someone that's very mature, that's very, solid, very stable, very committed, they're committed to the relationship and everything like that. And I feel like they are. They're not showing that they're not looking elsewhere or anything like that. Guys, there's no third party situation I'm seeing. But what I am seeing, though, is that they have this Knight of Wands here right behind the Queen of Pentacles. Two opposing energies that do not agree with each other. And one of the things that's coming up for real is that this person may be showing that they're stable and they're mature and they're, working hard and doing all this. And they are, but they're starving for some fun. They're starving. And that's the thing that's lacking. They're lacking fun. They're lacking playfulness. They have this, the Queen of Pentacles too doesn't necessarily have to do with work. And I feel like at the same time, even though the Queen of Pentacles can handle her own business and handle her own stuff, and I don't think this person at the same time is necessarily being a control freak at the same time, because I kind of get the sense that someone else is being a little bit of a little bit controlling in a sense. But I feel like this person here, it's not really 100% control freak. It may apply for some of you guys out here, right? Because again, I want to put that disclaimer out there. That part may not resonate with a lot of you guys, or a lot of individuals out there that may be cross-watching this, watching this, and trying to, connect. That part may not resonate with you, but what probably will resonate is that this is a lot to do with desire and physical touch. Now, this is talking about sex, and I feel like the things that's lacking is a physical connection, a physical touch, intimacy, because Pentacles is real, it's tangible, it's touching, it's feeling, it's what's in your hands that you can know it's real, it's there. And I feel like with the Knight of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles together, even though they're opposing in regards to the responsibility aspect, their mindset, their mentality in regards to what they do as far as responsibilities, in regards to different roles like career and lifestyle, they are very similar when it comes to love, in a sense, because they can, in sex, because they can be very passionate in the bedroom, and they also are very good at sensation and feeling and the reality of something. They can be in the moment. So I feel like the connection in itself has to do with possibly intimacy on this individual's part. That, again, may resonate with very few of you, but I kind of get the sense that there's a little bit of lacking of fun and playfulness, because there's a lot of serious attitudes about what's going on, where they're kind of going. This person is showing that they're committed in their relationship to move forward and to go somewhere of great growth. But they want to have a little bit more fun. They want to enjoy the connection. And right now, I feel like this person, where they're lacking is enjoyment in the connection, having fun, enjoying life with the person that they're committed to. Okay. Now, your side, Cancer, or if the side that this, you've not resonated with the side as the other person's, you're showing that you're very clear about about what's going on. You're making great stride and great progress. You're doing things in a very smooth and fluid motion. The Emperor's kind of showing a bit of stubbornness and taking kind of control. And I feel like you don't really want anybody to touch your work either. So everybody's very separate and individual. So there's no kind of like touching or digging the hand in the cookie jar. Everybody's got their own separate cookie jars with different types of cookies in there, and they're doing their own thing, baking their own cookies and putting their own cookies in that basket. But they're trying to build something together. But the thing is that with the mentality of the Two of Pentacles coming into this relationship with the distractions and the focusing on the practical and not looking at their emotions, I feel like there's a lot of progress is being made from this individual in their own life, but the Emperor in their, in the shadow area, because it's with the extra card that you guys got, both of you guys get extra cards in your body area, how you guys represent each other, is a bit of a controlling aspect here. I think the fact that this person is building a lot of progress is a good is a way of empowering themselves, making them feel like they're in control, that they've got their foot on the pedal, and then no one else is, right? This sort of progress is sort of balancing the scales, is what's making this person feel very empowered. But this is also, in a way, uncompromising, stubborn, and not seeing a way through, seeing, how things are moving. It's not seeing someone else's point of view. Like, this person is definitely communicating and getting things out there, but I'm not sure if the other person is being heard or being seen. This is why I said that this person may not be seeing, and they're not really sure if they're being seen by the other person or not being recognized from the other side, because this person is so focused on progress. Now I get this feeling as well that this person is showing progress, but they feel like they're kind of being pressured here, perhaps, with this emperor. Somebody may be trying to push them to do things, or someone is around them that's very domineering. Or there's a lot of things that's moving very fast because somebody is definitely on their ass. So I don't know if this is this person here or this is someone external from them, but this could be that there's another situation, a way to read this, that somebody looks like they're doing something because they're feeling like they have to take control as well, right? Or like I said, if this is not someone else that's pushing them to make this progress, they feel like they have to take control of the situation. They have to be the divine masculine of the relationship, which is kind of shutting them down from really being creative or being open or being flirtatious or lighthearted, because they feel like they have to be the dominant energy and the person that balances everything out in their own lives. They have to be the caretaker in their own lives. So Cancer, so this person may be like, they're showing that they're ready to, to stabilize, to work with you, and they may want passion, excitement, and even to allow you to have fun too. But you are taking control of your life. You're trying to, you're empowering yourself, but that empowerment is kind of, in a way, it's kind of, I don't want to say, it's kind of made you a little stiff, if this is you, right? Only because, right, you're doing the best that you can for yourself. You're always in the right, and you're always in the right area at the right time, right? You're always doing the thing that you're supposed to be doing in the moment, right? Wherever you are, you're supposed to be there, right? There's no right or wrong way of going somewhere. However, if you want to see some sort of improvement, some sort of passion in the relationship, there has to be some sort of passive-ish kind of energy. If you're always going off and doing things and initiating, I can understand why you probably wouldn't want to be intimate with somebody if you're always the person that initiates. Now, if you're not the person that initiates, this could be that, which I don't see. I don't see that you guys are not the person that's initiating. We're not the person that's taking control of anything. They're not the one that's holding down the fort. But this person is taking care of themselves. So you're not actually interacting with this individual. This person feels like they're doing this by themselves. They're feeling left out in the cold. So you're doing that same thing. You're kind of in the same boat. You're feeling left out in the cold in a way, but you feel like, yeah, you know what? I'll do it myself. I got it. Because, it's almost like you don't necessarily trust the other person to help you with this. If that makes sense. The King of Swords is what brings you guys together. The King of Swords, he's very good at communication, very good at ideas, but the thing is, he has a problem with trusting people too. And that may be the thing, right? The trusting of others to help you so you can kind of get a little bit off your shoulders, if that makes sense. So there's no 10 of Wands energy here, but I'm getting the sense of some sort of burden that's going on here. Now, the foundation in which you guys are going, about where this is all coming from, is the Seven of Cups. Now, the Seven of Cups coming up in this position can kind of indicate there's some things that you believe that are too good to be true. You're coming from a place where, there's a lot of options, a lot of, wonderful looking stuff, but do you trust it? Do you go after it? Probably not, because there's nothing that really shows concrete stability, something that shows that, you don't have to do everything and leg it all on your own. So this could be that too, right? This kind of this feeling of like, okay, yeah, this could be nice, but I don't know if this is actually going to get me to where I need to be or where I want to be. And does it make me feel safe? Does it make me feel secure? Because the Seven of Cups is a very moonish kind of card. And I say moonish because it's not 100% the moon, where it's not a lot of intensity, but there is illusions and there's a lot of fantasy involved in this card. Now, where you guys are stemming from as well is fantasy and dreaminess and romance. And I feel like you guys want to have that, but You may have had disappointments with this Three of Swords coming up. You may have been disappointed in the past when it came to romance, which is why you kind of just look at situations like, okay, let me just do what I need to do. Let me just focus on the work I got. Because right now, that's the only thing that I got going on for me that I can trust. That's reliable. But that pain here, instead of addressing what's going on, that's kind of putting a kind of a bit of a rift, disassociating, which is the King of Swords thing. And it's disassociation because he has to make logical decisions with, as the King of Swords. He can't make emotionally charged decisions. He has to be clear-minded, thinking on his, thinking logically. He has to be clear on his truth and know what other people's truths are and information and things like that. He can't make emotionally charged decisions. So, but the King of Swords is detached. That's the key thing. He's detached. So I feel like there's some sort of detachment that you're doing here, Cancer, in a way to protect yourself, obviously, but to do things that you feel like you need to get done, to be the support that you need, to be the foundation that you need, to feel like that things are not going to just fall apart because you are in charge, of yourself. Now, the other person and their foundation is the Star. Wow. And they're coming from a place of trying to regain hope themselves. It's very interesting, very similar. And I feel like, again, right, they have an aspiration, they have a dream, they have some sort of, a direction in which they want to go into. But taking the effort, putting in the effort is not necessarily the problem because they're coming up with the Queen of Pentacles. They have no problem doing the work. But it's about exactly, if this is something they can actually have, this is something that they can truly enjoy. The Five of Pentacles is their mentality. So that lack is a reflection of where they are, where they came from, which is perhaps they've been in a situation where their dreams may not have come true, or there may have been something that's always not enough and always makes them feel like their dreams are just out of reach, just close, but just out of reach. So, and this is also very Aquarian here, the Star. The Star and the King of Swords are two cards that really would indicate Aquarian energy. So, there's somebody around you, you could be dating an Aquarius, but this situation here is that this person's past pains are coming up here too, where they're like, they get something, they know the potential is good, but every time they get close, there's always something wrong. There's always something that makes them feel like they're not there yet. They're not something that's not enough. And I think that's where they're coming from, right? If this person is coming from a place like, hey man, I'm always almost there, and they just can't get it. And then, your same thing, right? You don't know if you can truly trust that things are being presented to you. You don't know if you can truly rely on this individual to be the person that can ease some of this weight that you've got on your back, or at least take, to keep you from distracting yourself from your emotions and truly heal from things, because you don't know if this person can truly handle it, In that sense, that right there is a kind of a bit of a trust thing. But all in all, I do sense the passion and the craving for something. And I feel like for some of you guys, if you haven't been initiating it, then, I feel like I think this energy, like from what this looks like, is like, there's a lot of initiation. A lot of initiation here. The Two of Pentacles, like, it almost looks like you kind of don't know what to do. And it's like sometimes some of you guys may be weighing options or juggling things, and you're trying to figure out, well, how do I move forward from this? How do I kind of make this work for me? Because this is hard to just do this all on your own. When this person's kind of like, I feel like they're in their own individual slot, right? Trying to figure out the same thing. And it starts by communication. What brought you guys together was your seriousness, your dedication to things, the King of Swords, your truth, what you believe in, your morals, the things that you guys can agree on, the things that you guys stand together. That's what brought you guys together. And your intellect, your communication skills. You guys communicate like amazing. Like you guys have the capacity. The flirting and the King of Swords together. Oh my God, the King of Swords is a pro at it. You know what I mean? He knows exactly what to say, to how to get people riled up and ready to go and get people, pumped. It's very King of Cups, right? But the King of Swords knows exactly what to say to resolve situations, arguments, to, solve a problem, right? And that's what makes them perfect. That's why when you see the King of Swords and it comes to like legal readings, he would come up as a lawyer, because this person knows how to get, sway the jury to be on your side. But the challenge is the Ace of Wands. Passion, excitement, a new beginning, starting over, starting some sort of passion together, some sort of spark of something, a big spark as well, that really ignites this, playful, loving, and, exciting, like fire together. Because you both have it. The Emperor is Aries energy. Mars is very sexual. So with the Mars energy coming up like this, yeah, I really feel like, you guys really want to connect with somebody too. Like, I think if you guys, but the thing is, you're not connecting with how you feel. You're very detached in how you're going about it. You're looking at, okay, what if about this? What about that? Some of you guys maybe you're actually really trying to figure out how to kind of get things initiated. But I feel like some of you guys, there's some sort of distraction, ultimately, right? But I feel like it starts from looking at the Three of Swords. What are the things that are in your heart right now that's keeping you from being able to connect with each other? That's the thing. The King of Swords is always honest with himself. And I think the thing that's important is that both of you guys have to be honest with yourselves. What's been hurting you guys for so long that makes you feel like you have to take control or do things or be practical in your life day in and day out and not have a little bit of fun? That's the big thing. That's the big picture. Okay. Now let's go ahead and take a look at your whispers of love. Let's close out your reading here. All right. You guys have love is all around you. There is love everywhere all the time. Simply acknowledge this as truth. So there is definitely love here, Love is definitely a big thing for you in this individual. Definitely love there. But obviously this lack is a big thing. And this, feeling that you have to kind of juggle everything is a big thing too. And I feel like just taking a break and having fun, just letting go of the things, because you are in control. You're always in control. You don't have to constantly be in control. And this person here definitely doesn't need to be constantly in control anyway, either. Allowing yourselves to be passionate together and come together and communicate, from your standpoint, that's what's going to help it all. But most importantly, whatever is keeping you from feeling like you can't drop any of these for a moment or take a break from the struggle, it has to do with where you're coming from, why you feel like this, you can't trust something, or why you feel like something's completely out of reach. And it has a lot to do with faith. Both of these have to do with faith. Star, where you're headed, believing that you'll get where you're going when it comes to you, because you're doing the work, right? You're doing everything that you possibly can. There's a bit of patience that's required here and a bit of faith here. But also the star indicates healing, because that's what the Three of Swords is also representing here. When you look at the problem, you heal. You start to heal because you accept that there's something that's going on, some pains in your heart that needs to be healed. And the Seven of Cups, this is acknowledging that there is some things that you just may not truly trust or really want to fully go into because you don't necessarily know the outcome. And I feel like there's a piece of you, Cancer, if this is you, that wants to dream, that wants to fantasize, that wants to, believe there's some things out there. But the practical has always had your back. But I feel like allowing yourself to dream, allowing yourself to look at your emotions, and truly allowing yourself to dream will allow you guys to have a little bit more fun, to enjoy your life, to enjoy your connection together, and not be so focused on the responsibilities that you've got going on. Because they're always going to be there, those responsibilities. But your relationship, that integrity has to be of work. That has to be balanced in your life as well. Okay.